Patch 10.1.7 Fury Incarnate finally has a release date, September 5th. And with that locked in, it's time to explore the PTR and find out what's actually in it. So here's everything we know, and excitedly, everything we don't. Blizzard are getting a lot braver with hiding features and encrypting the story, but there's still a lot to go through, even a lot to speculate on. The biggest feature gets the first spot, and that is Dream Surges. We have no idea what lore causes these to start, but we do know there's a very old enemy returning. Allegations that Dragonflight has a bit of cataclysm going on are kind of on the money because the Druids of the Flame are back. They're looking real good based on the data mining, and seemingly they're a faction we can get rep with, so maybe even we'll get that sick transmog. Every week then, one of the 4 main Dragonile zones will surge with Dream energy, empowering existing rares and buffs with faster respawns, opening minor portals to the Dream. These are basically also rares, but randomly spawning and farmable. But that's not all. Every half hour there's an event. A major Waking Dream portal opens, letting Druids of the Flame invade, and a Dream Surge happens, granting players all manner of crazy buffs, ranging from a fairy dragon to offer bank mail and auction services, repair and that kind of thing, to a zone-wide 50% XP and rep buff. Now, the way it works is these buffs are basically chosen by the players taking part, via voting between one of 2 options. And by the way, there will always be a 25% XP buff active in the zone that is surging, so when the other XP buff is up, it's a total of 75%, amazing for alts. As for rewards, there's a few things unimplemented, but mostly it's a repeat of 10.07's catch-up gear for mains and alts, this time baked into the new upgrade system and a lot more solo grindable. Killing rares in the zone, closing smaller portals that constantly spawn in, or killing the boss at the end of the Waking Dream event can drop 402 gear tokens. These are account-bound with fixed slot and armor types. These tokens can also be purchased for Dream Surge Coalescence. It's a new currency you get from just doing stuff in the zone, right? Like killing things, world quests, picking flowers, flying around. There's plenty of it to go around. Now, the gear you get here is Veteran, and that means it can be upgraded to eye level 424, but most importantly, they can be turned into tier gear at the Catalyst. With Whelpling and Drake's crests from world content, you can basically get these tokens and turn them into tier for the LFR appearance, and then you can upgrade their item level to also unlock the normal appearance, which is great. Of course, eye level 424 may feel a little bit low right now, but don't fear because there are much juicier Omni tokens, the Chrysalis. Now, these trade for specific pieces of eye level 415 gear that are upgradable to 437, basically normal raid gear. These Omni tokens come from the intro quest and then from a weekly quest in the zone, and that means alts get 1 piece of 415 gear a week. Now, 415 still sounds low. The last build even added a box of 15 worm fragments you can pick instead. 1 crest a week is a bit stingy if you ask me, but I guess if you're in no rush, this can help you get your alt army geared decently enough before 10.2. So yeah, you can just farm out every tier set in the game, at least for LFR normal, extremely quickly, and then with enough weeks of doing the Dream Surges, you can upgrade them all the way up to a heroic item level. There's also a fiery magma mount that is farmed by collecting charred fragments from the portals, and a to-be-determined one from a vendor. As well as a handful of other cosmetic rewards with the Coalescence currency. Basically, it's catch-up XP, catch-up rep, and a whole bunch of gear, right? It may even have a secret reputation component that we've not yet found on the PTR. Turbulent timeways. Okay, speaking of catch-up and gear, the Turbulent timeways event is going to be returning with a pretty damn nice new twist for turbo leveling and a new mount. So, the data mining points towards this starting up again, and for a quick reminder, this event is basically 6 weeks of straight time walking, with the weekly quest giving heroic gear instead of normal gear. But that's actually not all. The most recent build also drops a juicy new BOA item. Consuming this item gives you a 2% buff to XP from kills and quests, and if you complete a time walking dungeon, the duration is extended by an hour up to a maximum of 5. But of course, it stacks. It stacks up to a maximum of 10, and if you hit 10, it jumps from 20% to 30% XP. You become a master of the timeways. And if you max this buff out every week for 5 consecutive weeks in the event, you will unlock the Sandy Shalewing mount. We don't know where it comes from, but Jeremy Fiesel, the associate game director, said that they want the event to be easier to get into and to get gear from, promising more information soon. It all looks pretty neat then. I guess fingers crossed this comes with Time Walking Dungeons being opened up to perhaps under level 60 characters. Hey, if you're listening, Jeremy, that would be really good. A lot of levelers would really appreciate it. Heritage armor then. So, we cannot do these questlines on PTR. Blizzard are encrypting them so they cannot be spoiled, but it is finally time the Forsaken and Night Elves are getting their heritage questlines and armor sets. They're honestly pretty fantastic looking. You've got lots of different color schemes. Hopefully we get those. The Night Elves may, damn near after 20 years, also be able to get their glaives. Now the thing is, we know almost nothing about what the stories are going to be except for the chapter titles. Very big picture, it looks like the Night Elves will be seeing Maiev and dealing with some dark stuff, maybe some demonic stuff as well. The final chapter, called Honor the Goddess, perhaps means Elune stuff. Hopefully that's good. Then for the Forsaken, they've got a lot. A trip to Maldraxxus, an appearance of the Scarlets, dealing with the absence of Sylvanas, and returning to Lordaeron. All seems like potentially exciting stuff. That's all for now though, so come back in September to find out if these are actually good. Blizzard have got to deal with a lot of complicated race stories, so that'll be challenging, but if the human and orc heritage are anything to go by, these actually should be pretty damn solid. And that's actually not all, because Forsaken are getting new skin color options and Night Elves are getting new remade tattoos. They look cleaner, they look brighter, and there are options for face and body now. Some people are a bit mixed. Hopefully that's just because some PTR problem is making them look downright fluorescent. Baldur's Gate 3. It's just like Blizzard, to end up accidentally cashing in and hype for another game because everyone's been enjoying their red tieflings, and now the draenei are getting their red skin color. In all seriousness, this is a big moment. It's the Manary Aradar customizations. People have wanted these for years, and Blizzard seem to be making these lore-friendly, because there's a new questline that begins when Velen apparently receives a new vision, a prophecy of unexpected penitence. This is also not on the PTR, but it does seem like one of those mini questlines that we've been getting quite a lot of these days. As for what's in it, it's hard to say, but there does seem to be a new datamine skybox showing a clearer sky above Argus. Except for all the Legion ships that are on it. People are hoping desperately that some of the Fel visual lines will also come out in a future patch. But basically, props here to Blizzard. They're delivering on this. That's fantastic. And the really good thing is they're using it as an opportunity to tell a proper new story for the draenei, which is the, I suppose, fan service and world building that we all want. The Arcane Forge. What the hell is it? We don't know. This is another mystery. This new Arcane Forge is weird. It's something important enough to have its own mini-map icon. It's beside the crafting order area. It looks draenei inspired, but beyond that, we've got absolutely no idea what the bloody thing does. Some are hoping for a return of reforging, and some are hoping it's definitely not that. As a forge, my first guess is crafting, but we literally do not know, and that's kind of exciting. Yes, for no reason at all, here are some images of draenei armor and weapons that are just sitting, in the game files, waiting. Maybe they could be a part of this. And also, for no reason, do you remember how much stuff Blizzard are doing with farming old dungeons and raids for new materials to make stuff? Maybe those have got something to do with it. Kinda can't wait to find out what this is for, because they actually do seem to be, well, being pretty creative these days. The main storyline. This is another feature that's not on PTR. It seems Blizzard are trying to hide it, at least a little bit, and that is good. But there is going to be some major main story. The roadmap says reforging, tier, and more, and we think we know what the more is. Check this out. Viranoth and Farak are in the background. It's kind of hard to see until it's pointed out, but there they are, and it looks like they're facing each other down. Is this maybe like an image from an upcoming cutscene or something? I don't know. Fury Incarnate does sound like Farak, but now that Iridikron is gone, perhaps Verinoth is trying to do something interesting, or maybe take him down and fail. Dragonriding really does look like it's going to be around forever, and even more races are being added. There's the new Eastern Kingdoms Cup that is coming in mid-September, after the patch is out, but the patch itself is adding even more to the Dragon Isles. These new challenge courses are going to unlock each week after the patch, with one of each of the 6 Dragon Isles zones. But what's different about these is you get no bonus vigor. It's just your own regen. That means they're going to be tough. They're going to require more planning, right? So put your aviators on, blast some danger zone, and yeah, fly with precision. This actually seems like a pretty fun twist, if you ask me. If Dawn of the Infinite on Mythic is a bit too intense, well, good news is it is going to be available in a heroic version in this patch. It is split into Galakron's Fall and Murozond's Rise, which are both pretty heavy dungeon spoilers now that I think about it. But yeah, you'll be able to do this like any other heroic, just through the dungeon finder or by walking in the door. It drops item level 402 gear, upgradable to 424, and all of the same quantum transmog items and infinite customizations drop at the end boss, even the mount, though it is still marked as very rare. That said, the Of the Infinite title and the other achievement-related things, those are for the Mythic-only mode. Overall then, this is a good way to practice, get some gear, and build up your confidence for doing a Mythic clear. Now, last note, on PTR, it was dropping aspect fragments, but those will almost certainly be downgraded to like worm fragments or something, which is still good. It, combined with the Dream Surge tokens and the timeways stuff, does mean that like gearing up a character is going to be real slick this time around. Okay, are you ready for your dungeons and raids to actually get better? Well, the new ping system is going to do just that. People, enemies, locations. Instead of vaguely typing instructions slowly or needing to join a voice chat, it can just be pinged. This will take a while for people to get used to it and to start using it, but trust me, this is an insanely good tool for the game, and if people utilize it well, every bit of group content, be it PvE, PvP, or just flying around the world doing stuff, will be smoother. So, well done for that. Harassment tools. Right, this is not a thing to do, but it may be helpful nonetheless. Now, whispers that contain content considered to be harassing are hidden by default. The game will ask you if you want to see it, and will give you a new button to instantly report if you've read and confirmed that it wasn't something very nice. So, for those who are tired of just random abuse after a pug goes wrong, or even if it goes right and perfectly and someone's still a dickhead, it's a nice quality of life upgrade, because, yeah, toxicity in the game is annoying. That's why I don't pug. This is weird. It's a long shot, but we found a metric ton of NPCs and spells that can only be described as wacky. There's a literal Fortnite character with Fortnite abilities, a Quacken, yes, a Doc Kraken, a Vapor Lord, and Blogatron, the crowd displeaser, and Banana Stamma as well. What's going on? There's a Naru called Dimension Breaker and a whole load more. And none of this really fits anywhere else into the patch, and that makes me think, what if they are Brawlers Guild bosses? And then we realized that the Brawlers Guild was accidentally turned on earlier this year just for a little bit before it was quickly shut down. So this may not happen, but the enemies definitely do belong in a Brawlers Guild, so maybe this is a 10-2 thing, maybe a 10-5 thing. Either way, I'd love to see it return, even if it's just to push forward the mystery of Shadreen the Watcher, you know, that void ethereal who wants to watch us fight, study our fashion, and even snuck some money into our adventure journal at the very start of this expansion. Yeah, a looming plot thread. So, there you have it. That is patch 10.1.7. Overall, looking pretty damn good, and it'll pretty quickly lead into patch 10.2 if this development pace is anything to go by. And right after that, we'll have BlizzCon. Kind of exciting times, to be honest. So, thank you for watching, of course, and I will see you next time.